Vinita and we are going to make tofu today. Tofu is easily available at supermarkets all around, so there's really no need for most people to make their own tofu. But I personally think the tofu made at home is far better because there are no additives, no preservatives, and you know exactly what's going into the tofu. What I would recommend is use non-GMO organic soybean so that your tofu can be eaten, or any other soy product can be eaten once or twice a week without any problem, and you can forget about all those soy myths which say soy isn't good for you. The important thing is which soybeans you use. So these are the soaked soybeans of which we've taken out the skin as much as possible, and we're going to transfer it to the blender. And for half a cup of soybeans, we are going to use 400 ml of water. But we are not going to use all of it at one go. We are going to do this whole process twice. So I'm going to use a bit of the water first. Also, it does a much better job grinding if you don't use all the liquid content at the first go. It's always better in a blender to not use all the water at one go. It does a better job of blending. So the soybeans have been well blended, and we're going to do the first sieve. You can use an old muslin cloth or a nut milk bag. So you'll notice there's a lot of leftover soybean which we are going to reprocess in the blender. Most of our blenders may not be able to take out all the soy milk at one go, which is why we'll repeat it a second time. So we have minimum wastage and we have maximum milk from every cup of, or every half cup of soybeans that you use. So I'm sure many of you have sieves at home, metallic sieves, and you might get tempted to use that to sieve the soy milk from the bean. But what I find is that you need a very thin sieve, and that's best achieved with a cloth. So a muslin cloth or a nut milk bag is ideal. So this is the leftover soybean that we're transferring back into the mixer. This is actually called okara, and I'm going to tell you a little bit what you can do with the leftover okara after we're done with the soybean milk. I'm adding the rest of the 400 ml that we had kept aside in the beginning. So this is the second time we've blended the soybean, and we'll sieve it once more. Another very important point which you must note, if we were making the soy milk for consumption as is, as soy milk, then we would use double the water. So here for half a cup we've used 400 ml, but because we're going to make tofu out of it, we're again going to curdle it, which is why I want it thick. So if you were using this soy milk to drink as soy milk, or have it over muesli or something where you wanted it to be much thinner, then for half a cup you would use 800 ml of water. So this is our second sieve, and you'll see that a lot more is getting through the sieve because it's more finely blended. Now this beautiful residue that we have is actually not a waste. So we can use this okara as a base for patties. You can even use it in parathas as a filler instead of potatoes or with potatoes. So it's best not to throw this away because this is not really a waste material. It's just that we don't need it for the tofu. It's very high in protein, so please make use of it. This is our thick soy milk which we are going to heat now. It needs to come to one nice big boil before we curdle it. As you can see, the consistency is lovely. It's not too thin, it's not too thick, and this is how freshly made soy milk should look. Creamy and thick. So you saw how the soy milk came right to the brim, like how regular milk, dairy milk comes to the top. That's when you know your soy milk is cooked. So if you're making just soy milk for consumption, you need to take off this frothy stuff on the top. But if you're making the soy milk for the purpose of making tofu like we are, we let the frothy stuff stay. It just results in a better consistency of the tofu. Vinita, and we're going to make tofu today. Tofu is easily available.